Thank you, Toastmaster Hariharan. Hope I'm audible. Thank you. This session definitely was not a snooze. I could connect with almost everyone's viewpoint during the table topics, but I got little carried away during that biryani topic. Well, I pulled myself back. So, in this evaluation, I loved all the good usages whenever it comes to usage of adjectives to describe what they think and what they want to say. And it brings out their thought quite vividly. So, with respect to the word of the day being used, I saw Toastmaster Priya, distinguished Toastmaster Karthik, Toastmaster Tapan using the word snooze. Thank you. And going ahead with good usages, distinguished Toastmaster Satish mentioned something like an electrifying meeting. And then distinguished Toastmaster Vidya mentioned experimental learning, beautiful analogy. So those things definitely brought out what exactly they are thinking, the real feeling within them. And then distinguished Toastmaster Karthik mentioned something like fascinating number. Toastmaster Josephine mentioned something like family was dumbstruck, the hard truth. So those were really captivating the user too. I mean the listener. Then Toastmaster Geeta mentioned something like silent fire within me. Then distinguished Toastmaster Viji, she was mentioning something like adrenaline rush to do something spectacular. I mean, literally, I turned around to see her face to see what exactly she was trying to say. I mean, she brought me back to this speech. And then Toastmaster Chidambaram talked about something like sprinkling humor and adding the adjective to exactly humor being put in different segments. Toastmaster Badri mentioned something like apt words, hard truth, pendulum approach. Definitely, I'll use it in my next speech. Something on to improve. What are those not so good usages? Somebody said the inner instinct. I feel instinct itself is something part of ourself, within ourselves. So let's try to avoid that redundancy. I usually have a standard set of not so good usages and I'll catch hold of them who will use it. So I always see this like, okay, in between sentences. Those things can be avoided. I understand it will be part of the counter or they might even say it as a filler, but I still wanted to call this out. And the other one was somebody said, send to him. Usually we say send him or something like that. And the common mistake or rather something which we can improve is called as. Mostly we will say either it is known as or called. And then I heard somebody saying alarm. I think usually we will pronounce it as alarm. And then there is a small variation with respect to he don't. In fact, it has to be he, she doesn't, or she doesn't. Then there was something like whenever we are talking about a past event, I think it's common to use she was speaking rather than saying she is speaking. And also the final one, we always use this so often in the same paragraph, right? I heard somebody saying that. Let's try to avoid that. That's all from my side. Over to you, Toastmaster Hariharan. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Uma, for the detailed grammar.